What I'm here to talk to you about is online marketplaces. As you can see from the agenda, there's been an increasing number of new technologies entering the space, like artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and even blockchain. But marketplaces in the physical sense have been around for many centuries now. But specifically what we're going to talk about is online marketplaces. We see marketplaces as playing an integral role in helping our industry kind of reach its full potential in the near future. The agenda for this presentation, first of all, we're going to go over some background as how we arrived to a marketplace model and why we think it is the kind of perfect fit for the qualitative market research industry, why the qualitative market research industry has been very slow to transition to an online marketplace, and finally how everyone in this room can stand to benefit from the online marketplace transition and what you need to do about it. Prior to starting Respondent, I was the CEO and founder of a video feedback platform where researchers could post questions and collect video responses from respondents. We thought video feedback as a methodology was going to be the kind of absolute silver bullet for the qualitative market research industry, and one that would solve all of its problems. But we quickly realised through some of our customers at the time, namely Samsung, Lego, PepsiCo, that it wasn't a methodology problem that was occurring in the qualitative market research industry. In fact, what it was twofold. It was access to respondents, and then number two, it was the quality of those respondents. So in summary, what our customers wanted was access to high-quality respondents. We were getting a lot of reports at the time that from researchers about the quality of the participants, and some really kind of interesting stories about accountants pretending to be doctors and teenagers pretending not to be teenagers. And in fact, I think a lot of these respondents were probably a better fit for Hollywood than attending focus groups. But the crux of the problem here was that there was a supply and demand issue with high quality respondents in the research industry, and high quality respondents on one side, and then researchers wanting to source those high-quality respondents for various types of research studies, not just video feedback. So it was at this point in time that we thought the most intuitive fit for this problem that the qualitative market research industry had was an online marketplace. So we started doing a bunch of research on marketplaces. In fact, we went a little bit marketplace crazy. You can see on the left here, that is a screenshot of the Craigslist homepage, and we were able to put almost a specialised marketplace, well-established brand against every one of those categories in Craigslist there. You can see that Etsy's taken out the arts and crafts sector, Lyft and Uber have taken out transportation, Airbnb's taken out accommodation, of course. And these marketplaces have had a really, really profound and significant impact on these industries. Airbnb has paid out $2 billion to their hosts, and Lyft and Uber combined have created more than 4.3 million new jobs. And this commerce simply did not exist before these specialised marketplaces were launched and made their way to the internet. If we look at the functions of marketplaces across different industries, the impacts have been really, really significant. Up the top here we have transactions. So transactions in online marketplaces happen much, much faster than they do offline. Quality is improved because there is a lot of transparency around marketplaces. Marketplaces really thrive on transparency. So you get a lot of visibility around the products and the services that are being offered in online marketplaces. And then the next one is cost, and cost comes down because in online marketplaces there's a huge amount of competition that enters that space that couldn't otherwise enter that space in physical, geographically constrained locations. And as a result of that, there's less manual labour due to the application of technology, which also brings the cost down. Given these benefits were so obvious, it was really difficult to understand why an online marketplace had not entered the qualitative market research industry a lot earlier. We were really kind of curious about this, and if the benefits were potentially so great at a global scale for respondents as well as researchers, we were kind of racking our brains as to why a marketplace hadn't entered. If you look back at the evolution of online marketplaces, eBay and Craigslist came about in the mid-90s, and Airbnb and Uber now have been around for a long, long time. So we were well behind the eight ball in that regard, and we started to dig into this a little bit deeper to look at what those reasons might be and what the hold-up has been so far. The first one, the first reason is that a lot of researchers have spent a huge amount of money and time and effort in building out their own personal lists of respondents. And researchers consider this, rightly so, unique access to specific target audiences all around the world. And if they had that specific access, the way that the mindset that they are thinking about here is that that is their unique competitive advantage. So no one is willing to share their personal lists of respondents. For example, a salmon farmer in Norway, we know that it would take a lot of time, effort, and money to find a target audience like that very quickly. The second reason is that as a result of these personal lists being kind of put together by researchers in different locations around the world, we have Excel spreadsheets stored on personal computers across the globe of these highly, highly niche audiences, like dentists in Jakarta and accountants in Chicago, perhaps. And what we end up with is a heavily fragmented and decentralized supply of respondents. And because of these two reasons, respondent ownership and this fragmentation within the landscape of the supply of respondents, it's hugely cumbersome for us to transition the qualitative market research industry to an online marketplace. However, the application of a marketplace can solve a lot of the qualitative market research industry's problems. It is possible for this to actually work. What this would allow, if someone can conquer this problem of this huge fragmentation and this kind of paranoia over access to personal respondent lists, there will be a shift in the qualitative market research industry that will change the industry, we think, significantly forever. Companies could plan to execute a lot more research, and on top of that, researchers could take jobs that they otherwise would not have planned to have taken on board, knowing that they couldn't access those respondents. So the net effect here is that a much larger volume of research is being conducted, which I think everyone could agree is a win-win for both research suppliers and buyers. The application of a marketplace for the qualitative market research industry, so what does that look like? with an internet-sized marketplace of respondents at the disposal of researchers, and the ability to access niche audiences in any location would be a huge benefit. Publicly available data now is available to verify respondents. So the quality of respondents has really gone up tenfold. So the expectation to have much higher quality research outcomes as a result of having high quality respondents is certainly going to impact the qualitative market research industry this way. Costs are driven down due to the implementation of the overlay of technology in the marketplace, and this means it can open up opportunities for companies of all sizes, not just big enterprise. So finally, getting to Procter & Gamble, P&G is a really good example for the industry at large when it comes to the benefits of marketplaces and how it can propel that company forward. Procter & Gamble, like many millions of companies, need to conduct research better because it has a significant impact on innovation. And innovation is a very important and imperative factor for a company like Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble, like many millions of other companies, have strict budget controls. So conducting research cheaper is very important, especially when you've got 180 plus markets to cover. We're talking very, very significant research budgets that need to be controlled. Procter & Gamble, like many thousands of companies, need to turn research around much, much quicker. The faster they can turn it around, the sooner they get more up to date with the consumer taste preferences that are changing day by day and month by month. So the common theme that we're seeing here from online marketplaces is better quality, cheaper and faster. And it's not just big enterprise that can take advantage of this. We have lots of smaller companies and individuals all around the world who can now take advantage of having access to any target audience anywhere in the world via an online marketplace. So finally, everyone in this room can benefit from the transition of the qualitative market research industry going to an online marketplace. And when looking at marketplaces and thinking about them, the new mindset really needs to be about re-establishing quality as the absolute top priority. Excellent research participants do exist. Very niche respondent pools and target audiences in different locations around the world can now be accessed through these global online marketplaces. Demand transparency when you are considering online marketplaces. Marketplaces really thrive on transparency, and they'll go to great lengths to reveal data about the marketplace and the participants in that marketplace in order to gain your trust. So the new expectation is that you see a full history of a respondent's participation within a marketplace. And I think that's really important because it can help researchers, inform who they want to select for these research studies. And lastly, I think we're now at a stage where we don't need to hoard lists of personal respondents. In today's market, it's not about having access to niche audiences around the world. A researcher's intellectual property and true lethal weapon is how they conduct research. A researcher's intellectual property and lethal weapon is the strategy that they implement when they are conducting research. So your knowledge and expertise as a researcher is really your intellectual property. And finally, the marketplace approach is definitely a winning approach for everyone involved. Researchers can win because they now have global access to an internet-sized marketplace of respondents. And research suppliers can also win because as the industry grows online, more and more opportunities are available. And a thriving marketplace can accelerate the adoption of new technologies like virtual reality, blockchain, artificial intelligence. And that concludes my speech. Thank you.